It was an early morning meetup at the mansion on the mountain. The maestro still had glitter on his face. They led us to the office, and once my eyes adjusted, I took a little look around the place. On the mantle was a portrait of his father and the fortune he'd amassed from being ruthless but polite, and a bottle with a model, a specific British clipper ship. On his desk there was a pistol and a pipe. The sunrise wasn't perfect, but it was close enough to count. The vibrations were impatient, he said he's sick of running out. But first we set the prices, and then we talk about amounts. The sweet parade the morning brings, the drifters wearing angel wings. The hard distorted hymns they sing, so sad the night is over. The shepherds started spinning out, the cowboys trying to dismount. St. Francis with the pigeons on his shoulder. Now while you're here in person, I was kinda sorta hoping I could ask you about a girl I met last night. She had the aura of an angel, but she had a couple problems. I guess the big one is she's someone else's wife. And she didn't bring it up with any sort of plan in place. She said she was just putting out the feelers. When she asked if she could choke you underneath the blacklight poster with a spaceman saying, "Take me to your dealer." The scene it only moves at a few different speeds. Forage and gather, attack and retreat. First we're gonna finish up our business, then we'll finally get some sleep. All the things you never really noticed before turned out that they don't even matter. Cause when someone hits the switch in the kitchen, all the insects just scatter. The broken birds all headed south, the pirates with the party mouth. The corner boys all calling out, so sad the war is finished. Each daybreak there's a new parade, from uptown through the old arcades. Along the way we lost the flame, there's burners in the kitchen. We've been staying late a lot, that mansion on the mountaintop. Did you think about the thing the maestro mentioned? How tomorrow's pretty much today, and I don't predict a major change. Seems like you and me have got momentum. Feels like now we're in this pretty deep. We should get set up before we sleep. Feels like now we're in this pretty deep. We should get set up before we sleep. She She sent a picture of a plethora of poker chips spread on the bed between a mouth and a leg. She said, "There's pretty many people already, but still I wish you were here." Hadn't really seen her since the previous winter. She'd been a drop-dead number since later last December, but here she is rising again. Happy Easter. You wanna go get some beers? And all the bartenders were strangling their shakers. It was springtime in the sweet part of the city. It's nice to hit the taverns with familiar companions. I kinda like it when she's laughing at me. And we're up to old tricks, and she's acting on a tip. We're trying to find the right play. She said, "Meet me on the corner by Central Smoke and Gift. I'll be just before daybreak." But she wants to make it clear that she's done with all that other stuff. Sick of all the drama club, tired of all the talking drugs. She slept over on a Saturday night, and in the morning we watched the parade. And all the majorettes had the sun in their eyes, and all the old cars looked fatigued. The cops in the kilts, they had me nervous as hell, but it felt pretty cool when she kissed me. We're at the table and she's yelling out her order: vanilla vodka and a Diet Dr. Pepper, something wrapped in a black wax paper. We're gonna see where this goes. Pouring liquor in the sponge sugar, something extra in the salt shaker. She only does this as an icebreaker, so go ahead with the show. That she's a way different person than the person that I knew in the past. But when she starts rolling, it's wild like the ocean, and the ocean is violent and vast. We're in the weeds and we're taking on water. We've been taking on whatever they offer. Trading stickers with some shipwrecked sailors. We're gonna see where this goes. We're in the woods with a difficult decision. The majorette's not paying much attention, and if the band ever plays the resurrection, it's at the end of the show. There's something extra in the salt shaker, a ton of liquor and a sponge sugar. She said that we should try to do this every Easter. I said we'll see how it goes. We still gotta see the end of the show. Out in the middle, you just figure that there's something you're missing. But it turns out that California is just tripping and disinterested kissing. Back in my hometown, there was nothing but the hum of the locusts, and the rest of my life to get used to being washed out of showbiz. I was down around the docks, but I never saw anyone surfing. From a distance it looked pretty much perfect, but it's different in person. The doctor said he only wants to help me make more healthy decisions. Went out around the 4th of July and I was back by Thanksgiving. I danced around the subject and swam in the Pacific like the westernmost American. lanyards into laminates. Everybody's trying to get the right kind of wristband. Banging on the door again, she just wasn't answering. Showbiz is a struggle, man. Someone called an ambulance, straightened out her necklace, and we sped to Good Samaritan. That girl from the Genesee Cleaners wasn't from there either. We sunk into the seats downtown at some second shot theater. She took me home to a place in a camper van behind some old warehouse. Said she couldn't come down and crash until we listened to Wipeout. Her character's cool, she's just dialing in her motivation. She's into new things, but she won't go to a second location. She's never gone deep, but she might make an exception for Shark Week. When they kicked in the door, they said that's way too much blood for a nosebleed. Hospital security, everybody needs to see the right color wristband. She said she had a meeting, I thought they were mistaken, but depression isn't kidding, man. The scene stuck in my head of her spread out on her bed like she's showing off her wingspan. I sat in heavy traffic, I drowned in the Pacific, then I went back to the heartland. The doctor said he only wants to help me make some better decisions. Went out around the 4th of July and I was back by Thanksgiving. I saw a few stars, but I never made it into a movie. Still trying to make moves, but I'm back in Independence, Missouri. Was a nightmare. You know, they took away my headphones. Sure, they let you keep your handset, but the courtyard is a dead zone. And the nurse that they assigned me had Eruption as a ringtone, blasting out through built-in speakers like it's bug spray, buzzing like a hornet halfway blown. Pennsylvania, I'd advise you not to leave. Take some nickels from the fountain and make your friends and fall asleep. Let your sins be of a mission. I wish you wouldn't engage with all these creeps, 'cause they're never gonna love you that one specific way that you want them all to love you. Schedule and a willingness to trade your medications, obsessing and controlling and coming up on total suffocation. She came into the cantina singing "This Must Be the Place," said faithful as its limits, I just want to see his face. Before she took her shot, she said a little grace, said Lord grant me the power to stop these hands from shaking. I've been falling in the fountain since a week or so before. I've been rattled by the accident, my shoulders were still sore. I almost rolled my eyes when they asked me how to score, but sometimes it feels sweet to be the teacher. When she was combing through the carpet, I could not resist her charms. She brought me to a fortress she called the family farm. And out along the towers there were guards with heavy arms. I guess there was some tension with the neighbors. Tripping at the airstrip, drinking on the runway, laughing at the jets as we watched them fly away. She said you get what you get when you push too far ahead. They put us in these places for a reason. Shaking your head with resignation, masquerading as wisdom. Waiting on the lamppost, just jangling the keys to the kingdom. Resting in the lobby of a hotel on the highway. Not sure you even want to be rescued, 'cause they're never gonna love you that one specific way that you want them all to love you. And you want them all to love you. Every morning we burn the bread, walk it down to the water's edge, see the seagulls eat cigarettes, check your breath in a spoon, all your stuff in the storage shed, twisted sheets on the trundle bed, and the antipsychosis meds made you feel all marooned. Last summer at the shore when I was working cleaning carpets at some hotel that was haunted by some sailor who supposedly was murdered after losing all his treasure in the harbor. That's back when I found romance in these ghosts. I was honestly more bothered by the 100 miles of hallways than the clanking of the shackles or the shadows in the doorway. And we snuck into the ballroom and made echoes and it's empty. And I grabbed you and I spun you, and we both just started laughing. All the burns on the windowsill, says she's crazy about horses still. All these antipsychosis pills, so much power and grace. Up there on South Ocean View, all the shells made me think of you. We bought into a 3 for $2 and a strawberry shake. First it's April and it's August. It's a cost of doing business. You were scared and overcautious. The whole breakfast was unpleasant. You just can't keep throwing up and then cover it with sawdust and expect us not to notice and pretend it didn't happen. Last summer at the shoreline, when you walked into the water, went out up to your waistline and turned back to face the camera, rolled your eyes back in their sockets, then you raised your middle fingers, defiant and undamaged. That's when I took the pill. picture. I no longer see the romance in these ghosts. This coffee's cold, this toast is gross. I no longer see the romance in these ghosts. The wine glass on the microwave and the ashtray in the kitchenette, I could tell that it was difficult to bring that sort of subject up. It was tough to bring the subject up. City on a power play, in the garden with a day to spare. And if you know the perfect words to say, you can get it almost anywhere. That's a pretty heavy covenant to make with someone powerless. He said, I'll ask about that other stuff if you're still prepared to pay for it. I know the perfect place to go. Slide your little phone into the airplane mode. Motel Mariposa, a little south of downtown on the frontage road. Seeing stars in the scorch mark, hearing bass lines in the buzzing of the lights. Call down to the desk and say, we're gonna need another night. We're gonna stay a second night. I saw software made for offices. It increases their efficiency. Hospitals and local governments, it's a pretty heavy covenant. In the taxi to the airport, I was hoping for Tucson around 10. Staring at the skyline and right back at my phone to find a friend. It seems a single body is a couple different people in this one life. I'm sorry, but my meeting got delayed. I'm gonna be another night. First I watched him play his instrument, a resonator with a missing string. Then I asked him about the songs he did, how he decides what songs he's gonna sing. Then I asked if I could shake his hand, and I palmed him almost $40. Then I asked about the other stuff. pastry in the kitchenette. I could tell that it was difficult. Sleeper City with the underplay, you can get it almost anywhere if you know the perfect words to say. That's a pretty heavy covenant to make with someone powerless. He said I'll ask about that other stuff. Met a guy up in some music club, gave him almost $40 to make it safe to bring the subject up. Cause it's tough to bring the subject up. Cause it's tough to bring the subject up. It's a pretty heavy covenant. When the fawn strays from the forest, and the terror and the havoc when it wanders into traffic. The tragic conclusion of instincts and old habits up against the never-ending construction. Now there's a luxury apartment on the top floor of some high-rise building, and people go there every weekend to witness the abandoned ascension with the scraps on the shelf. He said it's not so heroic, yeah, he just wants to help. While we were fleeing the forest, she stopped and made a few calls. Got a spot at this penthouse with the window pane walls. Where some guy in fringe leather and a seafaring sweater is trying to peck at some peacock with significant feathers. And it looks like she's old enough to know a little better, but these people seem really open-minded. There were some dudes on the roof deck that were sitting with a sweet view of the sunset. They said you gotta meet the guy that gets the tab for this. Anything you want, he can cover it. When we showed him our hand stamps, he blew smoke on our nails. We pointed out the projection, a PowerPoint presentation of the chum and the shark. He said it's just a reminder, love will tear us apart. He started scratching at the itch that's been giving him fits since the prior procedure. Such a major modern tragedy. That's why I instituted this open door policy. But think about kicking off some new kind of family. I'm really glad that you're here. A statue to honor his ways and his words, while the rest of these martyrs got marched off to work through the weekend. This kid's a computer that's been programmed to dream. He stumbled to start but regained his speed. He said, my superpower is I say what I mean, and he's always in the red, white, and blue. The lens cap was lost, so they stretched out the chute. The second location that stuck to her shoes. She said, do me a favor, let me order for you. You should really try something different. Really funny running into you. I love these tiny little collisions. The kids on the corner aren't here for their health. They're just trying to uphold the traditions. Another Sunday night locked in the bathroom, obsessing over minor abrasions. Some local legend let her pick up the check, then he hit her with his whole presentation. Be careful of the second location. The director's distracted, he's losing his light. The actors are wrapped up in ropes for the night. Her sister went sideways, her mother was right. These things tend to run in the family. Really funny running into you. I love these tiny little collisions. She knows that her mother ain't right here to judge her, but she tries not to date other actors. A million tiny bugs at the breakdown, and a second time that felt like the first. The doctors kept saying trust the medication, but when it hit she thought it might be a curse. A couple quick visits to Riptown, another kid with his thumb in his belt loop. He was pinned back in the booth, but he tried to tell the truth. He said, I'd rather go with somebody new. Bathroom with your psyche dressed up for display, and she's stranded at the moment with some hot glitchy robot. He's giving her the whole play-by-play. Another sick smile from the spotlight, another sketchy crucifixion tattoo. I know it probably covers some hardline thunder, all dressed up in the red, white, and blue. Gotta wanna be rescued. Me and Magdalena used to go out every night. They thought she was the pretty one, they thought that I was nice. But the boys that we've been twisting with suddenly got wildly inconsistent. Like first they're into Kiss, then they're into crust. Spent the summer fighting over crumbs, man, there must be something more than this. The grackles at the snack bar waging war for popcorn and potato chips. That the DJ played, they didn't move us like the way they used to make us move. And first they're into death, and then they're into dust, and then they're into disco, so now they're into drugs. One night at the bandstand, Magdalena met a front man. He spent the night, but then the stupid sun came up. At dawn, she set him free under yesterday's marquee. He blew a kiss and got back on the bus. Told her she should probably prepare to be let down. Distances are difficult, heavy is the crown. She said they'll be together anytime that he's in town. Smoking at the swimming pool, combing out the grease. She showed me the postcard he sent from overseas. Said the castles are all creepy, and I haven't been to sleep. And it's been like 14 weeks. after Christmas, she said the West Coast was everything she wished it was. She decided she would stay, be with him out in LA. Said she's gonna try to help him clean it up. She didn't even bother coming back to get her stuff. Said records are so heavy, you can't hurry love. He hates to be alone, and we're trying to clean him up. I'm still in the apartment that I've had for 7 years. Magdalena disconnected, the rest of it isn't clear. There's something in the silence that hurts a bit to hear. It sucks to be a band and certain songs can really sting, but I still admit that psychopath can sing. Distances are difficult, precious is the time. When he canceled all those concerts, there were rumors that he died. Someone made a joke about the camel in his eyes. I guess the needle was implied. Last night Magdalena rang me really late. Said nothing ever works, only so much I can take. If I make it back to Scranton, can I clean up at your place? Like she's been captured, sitting up and staring into space. Suddenly she turned to me and said, "You seem pretty harmless." The dosage was open for debate. The party with the python in the shower, Heather with the henna on her hands. Once we started mixing it with sodium bicarbonate, we got backstage and hung out with the band. I went down around the fisherman, I was looking for a hook. I was hoping that I'd find something by lunchtime. The coolest part about her was she had her own apartment. It's still an inconvenient place to die. The party with the python in the shower, Heather with the henna on her hands. Once we started mixing it with sodium bicarbonate, we got backstage and hung out with the band. They said, "You're the one that really makes it happen. If you're ever on the West Coast, give a shout." The manager asked if we'd break off a little package. The singer put his finger in my mouth. We were up against the miracle, maxed out every night. Our knees were shot from way too many prayers. I swear I saw soldiers selling single cigarettes, stationed about halfway up the stairs. Yeah, sure. At certain speeds it all becomes a blur, and we're friends. But it seems a little soft along the edge. It starts when she turns the torch into the dark. It ends once she puts her hand over the lens. I remember you were tender when you tried to make it better. You sang to me that song about the shipwreck. The hand that held the camera was trying not to tremble. The lighting made her look like she's a hostage. Yeah, sure. At certain speeds we all feel insecure. Yeah, sure. The borderlines, they smear into a blur. It starts put our hands over our hearts. It ends when Heather puts the cat back on the lamp.